So R.F. Kennedy tried to meet Kamala Harris to discuss a cabinet job.
Really?
Okay? Go through it. Okay. So here's a story of he wants to meet with. Now, do me a favor. Go to his Twitter account while I'm reading this, Rob, to see if he answered to this question. RFK sought a meeting with Kamala Harris to discuss potentially joining her cabinet if he endorses her campaign. Harris's team have not endorsed proposal. Kennedy's previously attempted similar talks with Donald Trump with no agreement reached. Right. Kennedy's campaign claims that his endorsement would boost Harris or Trump across 31 states. However, his standing in national polls has dropped since Joe Biden exited the race from 9 to 5%. Despite this, Kennedy is still actively campaigning, but is open to other avenues to influence change. Kennedy's outreach to Democrats, including attempts through Hollywood intermediaries and Biden allies, has largely been ignored, with Democrat insiders dismissing him as a MAGA-funded fringe candidate. Is that his response to it?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go through it. So VP Harris' Democratic Party would be unrecognizable to my father and uncle, and I cannot reconcile my values. The Democratic Party,
True.
Our RFK and JFK, was the party of civil liberties and free speech. VP Harris's party of censorship and lockdowns and medical coercion. Kennedy Democrats were anti-war. Kamala's riddled with neocon warmongers. The RFK, JFK Dems were allied of Main Street cops, firefighters, and working people. VP Harris is the party of big tech, big pharma, and Wall Street. True. My dad and uncle's party was a champion of voting rights and fair election. VP Harris's party of lawfare, disenfranchisement, and coronation of its candidate by corporate donors and party elites. I've used our nation's court to prosecute corporations who hurt black Americans. VP Harris used our nation's courts to mercilessly prosecute black Americans and exploit them for their labor. Sure. My father and uncle prided themselves on their skills at debates and their ability to articulate a coherent vision for our country. VP Harris is scared to debate and can't survive an unscripted interview. Instead of outlining a vision, she relies on Holmes' middle school tactics, memes, forged headlines, infantile slogans, joy, and name-calling Republicans as weird. I've spent years battling government corruption and lies. VP Harris spent years gaslighting Americans about the health of our commander-in-chief. I have no plans to endorse Kamala Harris for president. I do have a plan to defeat her.
Boom. Is he accurate?
So let me ask you this. No, hang on. Let me ask you this.
Sure.
This is really the only question. Okay. What's the percentage you believe he directly or indirectly or sending a handler went to Kamala Harris's camp to talk about a potentially job to negotiate with them?
Nah.
Are you at zero?
So? I'm going to say zero? Very low.
Rob?
Very low.
I'm also at zero. I have a clip I can play you, which is why.
Go for it.
Low.
Where
Are you at zero? I mean, you never know. Like 2%?
Tom, where are you at?
I'm at 25%, and they told him to F off, and that led to the last sentence of that, because everything in there was true, and then the last sentence, I have no plans. But did you have a plan last week? Were you thinking about, hey, my voice needs to be heard, I want to be relevant? I think there's a 25% chance he went in there, and they told him to stuff it, and then he's like, okay.
If you had to put a percentage.
I fully disagree.
Well, but Adam, you're saying zero means 100% zero.
You're right.
That's what you're saying.
You're right. Let's see what he has to say.
I want to hear it.
Go ahead. I agree
I
with
wouldn't say zero because, the margin of error, 2%, whatever.
Aha.
Very low.
Yeah.
Think about it from Kamala Harris's position. You don't think she wants his 5, 10, 15%, whatever the hell he's pulling at? You think that she's too good for that? By the way, don't look now. She's just, quote unquote, tied, surpassed, right there with Trump at this point, even though she hasn't said a word.
Maybe.
Trump and Kamala, whatever you think, would be very smart to cozy up to this man. This man is smart. He's informed. He's a fighter. He knows what the hell he's talking about. To get him on your team, how much money would you pay for that? What kind of campaign advisor budget would you put together to get RFK on your squad? I think he'd be way more aligned with Trump than with Kamala. So that's why I posed the question at the beginning, do you think that story is even true? I don't see him after making a statement like that.
This is the day after Joe Biden announced that he was stepping down and not continuing to seek the office of president in 2024.
Play the clip.
And Kamala was
what?
As the nominee.
Okay, go ahead.
Kamala Harris is the party of war. She is. She's a war hawk. The Democratic Party was always the peace party. Kamala Harris is a war hawk on Ukraine. She's a war hawk on China. I think that we should be figuring out ways to coexist with the rest of the world as best we can. Of course, we need to protect our national security. I think she's not going to do anything about the national deficit. I've never heard her speak about the chronic disease epidemic, I think she's a product of the corporate control of our democracy. And she's one of the authors of, in terms of civil rights, she has one of the worst civil rights record of any public official. She's the author of one of the primary authors of the school to prison pipeline. She kept 5,000 people, despite a Supreme Court order that she released 5,000 prisoners of nonviolent drug crimes who were ill.
Tom, I'm not coming to you first, but Vinny, go ahead. What do you?
I mean, again, who knows? At the end of the day, we can't say 100%. But I mean, I'm thinking. I went to the Trump side. You think after, because Trump had that call with him that was leaked. Somebody recorded him talking about it. You think after that, Trump is even considering bringing this guy on board, Adam? After he found out that he might have been going to Kamala to try.
Yes, if he was smart.
Well, I mean,
wait, you're saying Trump may not want him on his side?
I say if Trump found out, think about this. Look at how he responded to Joe Rogan.
It's not how life works.
You don't think?
Let me tell you how business works.
Yep.
Listen, I'm in the convention last week, okay, with my key leaders. And, there are certain things when you look at everybody, and I have a score for them and they have a score for me. Here's how life works. My guys, when you're around business for a long time, I have stuff on some of my guys who left me and are not with me, who are very good with me, because whatever they did, I've never told anybody. And I knew, I've never told anybody. They left, they trashed me, never told anybody. Personal stuff, never told anybody, okay? So, while you're transitioning with the move that you're going right now, I know what's going to happen, okay? Some people only look at you as, man, I can make a lot of money with this guy. And they're loyal to you while you're there, that they can monetize you. And then all of a sudden, when that move, they're like, oh, my loyalty has to move over here because to my money. And you'll feel that. And it's awkward because some of the guys, you're like, I did the most for that guy. And they gradually kind of become like this with you. Okay, cool. Some of the guys, they've always been the same with you. Some of the guys, you never knew they were the most loyal to you, but at a time like this, you realize, wow, you were the one most loyal.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. But guess what? You have to manage our relationships. So for Trump, for a guy that's on the other side, you look at everybody in the room, and you have a score for everybody on how much you trust them. It's very simple. So, for example, say, oh, I would never trust you around my daughters. I would never trust you around my family. I would never trust you with my money. I would never trust you with a top secret. I would never, because I always knew you always make a decision for what's best for you, not what's best for the company. So if I tell you something about one of our employees, you'll go tell her what I just told you to protect her career, not my career, not the boss's career. So you're not a company person. You're a person that's protecting people that are helping you, not me. Totally, now I know. Make sense? But we can still coexist. It's uncomfortable, it's weird, but Trump knows how to do this. Anybody that's ran a big organization knows you don't have 100% of 100% of people. You're delusional if you do. If you think and expect that from everybody, you will build a very small organization. Now, here's how this also works. So you'll have people in the military. What's the highest level of secret clearance you got?
TS.
What's higher than that?
Secret.
I mean, it's like different levels of TS, but it's up there.
What level of top secret levels are there? Can you pull it up?
Like, I know it's TS with like no like boundaries or something on it. Then there's just secret. Then there's like classified. There's
like Men in Black.
But what are the levels? Okay, are there levels? I guarantee you there's
definitely
levels.
there's definitely levels.
New secret clearance, 6 to 8 months for a new top secret clearance.
It's a sensitive compartment, CSI.
Okay,
yeah.
so there you go. So what's the point? In your team, as it gets more secret stuff that you're working on, the room gets what? Smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. RFK, if he's on the camp, he may be in the 3rd room or the 4th room or the 5th room, but there's no way he's on the 9th room where the room is only 3 people.
Yeah.
So, yes, RFK's got a place on the team. He just doesn't have it in the room. That's the fine. Because say you and I talk about something that happened, okay? Say the 5 of us have a call together, okay? After the 5 of us have a call together, Then two of us have a call together. Then after two of us have a call together, then what happens? One of us have a call together. That one is the highest secret clearance. He won't be that because of what he did with the recording.
Yeah.
However, he's still got a big job to play. So, RFK, if I'm RFK and I'm going from 9 to 4, I fully believe he's a true believer. Till today, nothing's changed with me on the way I view him. I think he's a full-blown true believer. I think the RFK father and the brother stuff that you see is 100% true. I think he can't stand what Fauci did. I think he can't stand what CDC did. I think he can't stand any of that stuff that took place. And I think he wants to finish his job, get in there and do something about it. But unfortunately, the toughest thing to realize sometimes is, guess what? America doesn't want you as the president right now, not majority. And you may think you'd make a hell of a good one, but that's not how a free market works. Guess what? Well, who's the number one podcast in the world?
Rogan.
Why is that?
Because the market wants to listen to it.
Because the market's saying that.
Yeah.
Some people will say, we're the number one podcast in the world. According to who? Your mother?
Yeah.
According to your wife? According to your girlfriend? Because according to the numbers, Joe Rogan's the number one podcast in the world. The market dictates where you rank, not you. Mm-hmm. And it's tough for RFK to choose that. Some people are role players. When Carmelo Anthony and AI, and Westbrook, and the only guy who had the brass to eventually say it, his name was Paul George, who runs one of the best podcasts out there, with Dallas Rutherford, the son of an incredible man whom I love that family. Paul George, we all know Paul George, one of the best players of all time. The guy broke his freaking leg on the Indiana Pacers. You're like, he's done. Comes back and whoops some major ass. You know what he said in the interview? I can never win a championship as a number one. What? Wow. You've been the best player on every team you've played your entire career until you go with Kawhi Leonard, and you said you can't win a championship as a number one? He's right.
Yeah.
RFK can't win a championship as a number one. And I hate to say it, at first I thought maybe he's going to break some stuff, but he's going to kind of break some barriers and get through it. I think he needs the right person to make a call to only one camp, that he can play a lot of impact, and hopefully he can increase his trust level with Trump without having one of those incidents happen again. Because one thing with Trump is he may come after you, but I think Trump's also quick to forgive and move on, because he's had to do that for his entire life, and he's had to expect other people to forgive him. Thoughts? I'll open it up. Anybody? Tom?
I would say one thing. Both camps would be very smart to try to get this guy in their team. Because if you look at 538, if you just want to use some cumulative data, he's trending at 5%. Ross Perot was at, 19% in 92, Pat? Right? That's the highest third party. We thought this guy was going to be a third party candidate, like trailblazer that we've never seen. This is the guy's going to disrupt the election. But 5% is still 5%. You think 5% can sway the election one way or another? You betcha.
Yeah.
So I think there's I won't say zero, a less than 1% chance that he does anything with the Democratic Party, especially after that tweet where he just cooked him. I would give a 20% chance that he does something with Trump.
But it has to happen. But it has to happen sooner than later.
I think he has to be intentional about it. The right person needs to make the phone call and present the facts. RFK needs to have the right person make the phone call, present the facts, create the meeting, and I swear to God, if any of it gets leaked, it's done. It's done. It has to be such a, It
has to be strategic. It has to be very strategic.
Strategery.
Yeah, but I think it's the right move for him. If he's for the cause, if you're for your name and selling more books and all that other stuff, stay in the race. If you truly RFK are for the cause, the right person's got to make the call to Trump's camp. If you truly are for the cause, and I think you are, if you truly are for the cause. Tom?
I agree with what you said, and I still believe that there is a 20% chance that he reached out because Health and Human Services, he would be huge in his mind because he's a believer and he's fact-based and he's got all this research. And I believe he really wants to make an impact, RFK. And
I believe that.
I think there is a 20% chance that he reached out to the campaign.
To Kamala's campaign?
To Kamala's campaign. And he wants to talk Health and Human Services. And I've seen the polling data. The people that were moderate leaners on the left, just moderate leaners, those independents went to Kamala on identity politics. In other words, they weren't really full on independent with RFK Jr. You know what I mean? They were there. Well, I'm not voting for Biden, so I'll go with RFK Jr. Oh my gosh, we have this, come on. And so they went back the other way. That's where he went from 8-9% nationally, because it was significant, and now it's back right within the norm that you would normally see. But that's why I think he did it. I think, I'll always think that, because I think he's a true believer, and he was trying to find a position where he can make an impact.
Here's what I can tell you. What I do know for a fact is I'm convinced the future looks bright, and we want 1 million people to wear the gear Future Looks Bright. The USA hats, last time we had, it sold out like this. They're officially back, the USA hats. If you want them, order them ASAP. If your entire family loves America and you want to sport it for the rest of the year, so indirectly, when nowadays people are like, well, when you have an American flag in the house, what are you really saying politically? Which way do you lean? It means I love America. You know what people think when you wear a USA hat and you're walking around and on the side it says Future Looks Bright? You're making a statement when you wear this. And by the way, brand spanking new limited gear being dropped here. This will go out in no time. I wear these flip-flops now because when you have Jesus feet like I do, you have to wear flip-flops that are comfortable. And these are the most comfortable flip-flops. It's got the gel in it and a little lift here when you wear this. It's ridiculous.
Feels good.
Future Looks Bright, American flag. Wear them during the summer. Wear them while you're walking out. Wear them while you're walking your dogs at the house with the VT logo on it. This is limited supply. First come, first serve. Some sizes will probably be gone. Go to VT Merch and order it. And by the way, for those of you that are getting the VT gear, post the pictures all over the place. We see you. Can we show some of these? Look at this one here. Pink VT hat. Go to the next one, Rob, if you can.
I know her.
This is Nick Moore, who's an NFL player for the Baltimore Ravens there. If you can zoom in.
Yeah.
Zoom in right there. That's him. Look what he's wearing to the left.
Wow.
Freaking walking in with a Future Looks
so
Bright hat.
sick.
What a stud. Go to the left one, Rob. That's him. That's another one with the military one. Good for you with the beard. Another one sporting it. Keep going, Rob. We got hundreds of these. Brian McClain, keep going. Another one. These were unique ones that we had. Keep going.
Nice.
Keep going. Baby girl, keep going, keep going, adorable. Keep going, Rob, keep going, Anyways, we got a bunch of these here. Gang, buy the gear, sport it, let the world know you believe the future looks bright, especially if you represent the brand. I'm grateful for you. I'm thankful for you. I love the fact that we got confident, strong people who believe in debate, discourse, that want to represent the freedom and different values and principles that we believe in. We love you guys. We appreciate you. Go to vtmerch.com, place your order.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.